When we first started going out to do different places, Jack and I would take an Agatha Christie with me. It was called Ski and Skeptic. So we'd ski during the day with the skeptics, and then at night, Jack would battle with them, and I would go upstairs and read Agatha Christie. So that was my first experience as being anyway. I have 24 grandchildren, 44 great grandchildren, and one on the way this week. I have a quite an unusual grandson. Well, of course, all grandsons are unusual. Many of you probably have read "Come Back, Barbara." This is her son, and he's an educator of educators, and very innovative in his, and he's speaking all over the country. I'm not lauding him, but one day he wrote on his blog, "What is your passion?" And I thought, well, that's a really good question. Is that what's my passion? I go to London. I have a big family, but somehow along the line, what you really want in life is something that is so much bigger than you, so much bigger than family, so much bigger than ministry, and it finally came to the conclusion is that I really want to see God's kingdom move in this world. I remember when we had 4 children in 4 years, so that was my start in parenting. And we moved to Philadelphia when my son now was 3 months old, and my husband didn't believe in the nursery, so he was pretty legalistic. So I would sit in the back row with Cheerios and books and trying to keep the kids quiet, But that Sunday, one of the professors from Westminster, some of you just may know, is Professor Murray, spoke on Psalm 127. If you're not familiar with it, unless the Lord builds a house, they labor in vain that build it. And I came out of that and said, yes, God is going to build his kingdom through my family. And he did that, but he always goes further. And he's doing it with my grandchildren. Not all of them, but some of you will meet Ethan tomorrow. And so this morning when I spoke at New Life, I said I presented Psalm 145, which is one generation shall tell the works of God to another. And that is what happened. That is what happened. So you be. So okay, now I'm in London. I have most of my family here, but I have 4 children I have one daughter in London, and then 4 grandchildren, and then 4 great grands.
I need a scorecard.
But every other family is in a radius of about 40 miles from each other. So that's kind of amazing. I love being here. I love meeting all of you. I really feel at home here. I honestly feel more at home here than I often do in London. I remember I did a retreat in Scotland with the women who are Scottish and some of them were Americans. It was a wonderful week. It was a very hard week of the home in which we were staying. It was the Courtney home, so it was a very hard week for them. But I remember coming home on the train thinking, Lord, I am so American. They are so Indian. What closes the gap? And very quietly, the Spirit said, love them. You know? So, so I was just talking to Bob about this, because when I come back here, I get pressure to stay. Why, 92 isn't enough time. You're wrapping up, it's coming out. Why don't you retire? You have a huge family here. They all need you, and those are hard. They really are hard. And but I don't have a sense that. In fact, I heard a sermon this morning on Jonah about God's love for the Ninevites and God's love for Jonah, and I don't have any sense that God is saying it's time. And I was talking to Sarah and also Bob. I have a aortic stenosis, which has to be dealt with. I don't have tons of physical strength, but I just have to believe that if I want God's kingdom to move forward, He can do it in England and He can do it here. Just telling Sarah every morning I meet with one of my grandsons who's kind of drifting but has really hunger for the Word. So those are tensions, for me. And then I leave, and so, but then God never leaves, He just, so, yeah, so when I see what God is doing in Ethan's life, there is this little bakery in Kolkata, which, I was talking to Sarah, I said, it's just like, the David with his slingshot and the giants are out there, the enemies are out there and they're huge. I mean, I'm sure you feel about them in Burundi, they're everywhere. But yeah, so that's the kingdom moving, It's Ethan and I were at one of the New Life churches last Sunday, and he shared most of it, and then I sort of filled in, and it was kindergartners, and they were second grade, third, fourth, fifth graders, and then junior high. It was such sweet listening for the children. One of the little boys, 7 years old, was so impressed. It said, Mom, we gotta stop right now. We gotta pray, because this lady said we've gotta pray. So if you listen to me for any length of time, you will know I could never be in London and do what I'm doing unless I had people praying for me. And you just came from, I just told you about Bob Lynn at Knox. Every once in a while, I just get stuck. I don't know if any of you get stuck. You can't move forward in your life. Things aren't going the way you like them to. And I called Bob. I said, Bob, just pray for me. He doesn't lecture me. He doesn't give me advice. He's just as sweet as can be. So I'm very thankful for that kind of a church. And then, of course, that Ethan's just coming from that.
We met Ethan this morning at our church in Ann Arbor.
Yeah.
Wow.
Oh, really?
I didn't know he was coming to Philly, though.
Wow.
Small world.
So anyway, my encouragement to all of you, and I'm thankful for all of you, and for the leadership. I'm amazed that everything started in our home out of so much weakness, and yet the gospel was strong, and God humbled us through our children, and like big time, and so the kingdom is what God is doing. It's a mustard seed that grows into a big tree, and I bet that's what God has done for Serge. and he will continue to do that. But I just am thankful that I have a kingdom that can't be shaken.
Mm-hmm.
And I might shake that. Spurgeon said, I have learned to kiss the waves that dash me against the rock pages. And that's what he's done. So, thank you for being our boss.
I can relate to that.
Sorry.
16 of them.
And we look forward to seeing you tomorrow for breakfast anyway. Pray with you.
How can we pray for you?
Yeah,